What up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel if you're already a subscriber. If you are new, welcome to the channel for the first time. Welcome to the channel for the first time. So, oh man, I'm getting over this flu. So I may cough a few times while I'm doing this video. So excuse me when it comes to that. And something just popped in my head, and I'm literally just gonna run with it, right? Something just popped in my head. I just got off work. I'm just getting home from work, and something just popped into my head, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna run with it for this video. So let's see where this goes for the next couple minutes. And what popped in my head was, we live in a world right now where it is really interesting, right? It's really interesting that the time and the space that we live in right now and how things are going. And a couple of things popped into my mind. One of the first things is trusting people who are experts, right? Trusting people who are experts at whatever their area is, right? Whether it's science or medicine or math or, I mean, you name it, business, what we're just trusting people who are experts at doing something. We are now in a time and space where I feel like a lot of people, and I think a lot so more in certain countries, and surprisingly, or not surprisingly, one of those places is the US, where people don't trust experts anymore, right? So it's not that an expert is always going to be right. Nobody is right. Not even you who are looking at this video. None of us are going to be right all of the time, every day. We're just not going to be right. That's not how the world works. That's not how humanity operates. That's not how just being a reasonable human being. Nobody's going to be right all of the time. But if you are sick, if you are facing serious challenges to your health, you're facing serious challenges to your health, your medical condition, you're deteriorating in some sort of way, I am not going to go to a person who tells me don't trust doctors. I will perhaps go to a series of doctors, a number of specialists in that area, and listen to them. I'm just saying, who are you going to listen to, right? And look, you know, we always talk about God, and if you look at it, a lot of my content is about faith and believing in God and all that sort of stuff. God created man. We all know that. But God also gave man a lot of abilities. A lot of abilities, right? That brain that we have, we could do wonders with it. We could do bad things if we put our minds to it. We could do good things if we put our minds to it. There's so much that we could do with our minds if we really challenge ourselves. One of the things that God has blessed man with is the ability to develop medicine and treatments so that, whether it's antibiotics or whatever the case is, so that folks can live longer. We didn't always used to live really long, right? If you know a little bit of history. And so through science and years of trial and error, man has been able to develop medicine, right? And a way of life, just the way we live, right? Develop proper housing so we're not exposed to the elements that would have contributed to the death of folks years ago, hundreds of years ago, right? Exposed, not having to look at how homes are built. That might sound like a simple thing, but it's true. It matters. Like every development in science and technology and everything has contributed to man having the opportunity, not everyone has it, but it has contributed to man having the opportunity to live a better life. An opportunity. It doesn't mean that everybody gets to take advantage of the opportunity, but because of God and we have been blessed with knowledge and ability, we have an opportunity now to take advantage of a lot of things. So God gave us that. If God blessed man with the ability to develop and grow scientific knowledge, to be doctors, right? To practice medicine, to do whatever the case is, that sort of stuff. You listen to your doctor. And if you want a second opinion, you go get a second opinion. The other thing is, I'm an avid reader. I read a lot. I interact a lot with a lot of news. A lot of people say, oh, I don't like the news. I don't like what's going on in the news. Oh, not me. I watch all of them. All of them. All of them. I want to hear your perception of that thing, and I'm listening to your perception of that thing, and I'm listening to your perception of that thing, and then I form my own conclusions, but I'm also listening to the experts because they know better than me. If it's not my field, they know better than me. But I don't source my information from one place. What if they're lying to me? What if I'm only listening to one source and they're lying to me? And they're lying to me, then all I'm going to know is a bunch of lies. And when I express what I say is my opinion, it is really not my opinion. It is me regurgitating the opinion of a few people through one source that I have heard repeatedly over and over and over again. Because you know how you know it's not really that person's opinion? Because if you ask them to elaborate on their opinion, if you say, well, what do you mean by that? Could you dive a little deeper and elaborate they can't do it. They start speaking in generalities, general terms, right? They can't hone into specifics because to know specifics, it means that I must do some form of deeper thinking, not just what has been fed to me. Folks, we live in a world now where increasingly we are letting disinformation and misinformation angle our minds. Think for yourself. Interact with various sources. Read. Listen to the news, different opinions, different news channels. And don't think that you're always going to get everything in 60 seconds. TikTok, YouTube short, whatever. It doesn't work like that. That is not true knowledge. So a report came out that 54% of folks are reading at below the 6th grade level. We got to do better in our schools. That's an obvious thing. But think about how someone can be restricted in life if they cannot communicate with what is in front of them. A book, a newspaper, an article on the it's a contract that you're signing for your job. So we got to do better. If we're in a society where 54% of folks are reading below the 6th grade level. How much are so many people missing out on because they're not able to interact, is the word I'm going to use, interact with information. And if you're not able to interact with information in a certain sort of way, then it is possible then, perhaps, to believe everything you hear if it aligns with a preconceived notion of what you might already believe, and then further entrenched and enforced by spending time with only people who also believe what you believe. If you fail to disengage from that, to move beyond that, to expand your mind and explore the possibility that different does not mean bad, then we have really failed to engage with humanity, the fullness of humanity, the fullness of God's blessings, right? Because God created all of us, all these different cultures and this. But if I have preconceived notions of a few or many or a group or a country or whatever the case is, and I fail to engage with them because of preconceived notions I have because of what someone else told me, and I cannot explore in a way that allows me to move beyond my own biases and my stereotypes, then I'm failing to fully engage with humanity that God has provided for me. I'm not engaging fully because I can't. And one of the problems is because I cannot communicate at a certain level. So what do? It's a personal challenge. You have to force yourself to move beyond what you know, to explore the unknown, which might be two zip codes away from you. I'm just saying. 2 things I ask at the end of every video. Do something good for someone. You do not have to be rich to give back or do something good for someone, and then do something good for yourself. If there's a relationship you need to walk out of, go. Get your things and go, because you know they ain't gonna change. You've been there long enough waiting for that person to change. If you need to change your job, go. Do what you need to do to live the life that God's blessed you with. Hey, subscribe, like, check out the other videos, share the video. Until next time, peace. Have a good one.